a fully functional, rotating, working and shooting ballista. These dwarves have really geared up against the war with the orcs. Coasters overlapping each other, sideways dueling action roller coasters. Even the orcs have completely geared up, settled down and built an extra camp in Dwarven Mine Rally 2. Both on the land and in the water, as you can see here, the dwarves and the orc are ready to go face each other. Head to head in this incredible duel in Dwarven Mine Rally 2. In this episode we finished the full track of both of the roller coasters, both for the orcs and the dwarves. We built an incredibly intricate terrain with lots of theming, animation pieces and clutter. And every time I make a video I end up saying this is by far the best work I have done so far. But I really think this is one of the best works that I've made. So let's jump in this episode of Dwarven Mine Rally 2. Super stoked to show you what I come up with. Kia ora everyone, welcome to a new episode of Dwarven Mine Rally 2. I'm super stoked for this one because I can't wait to show you what I ended up making. So let's just jump in and start building. We left off with the half finished coaster and that really needed to be finished first. So I changed the angle of the chain lift a little bit more to the left so it goes underneath the top section right there. And I'll bring it down to the right and then we're gonna have some more dueling elements. I really want to emphasize the ability of this roller coaster that it can go sideways as well as up and down. And obviously, like the original Dwarven Mine Rally, a lot of crossovers, the one like what I make here. So yeah, this is what I came up with. Now it just looks like a bowl of spaghetti. El dente. Oh, why do I always laugh about my own stupid jokes? I don't know, Book. It's pretty childish. I'm gonna unsubscribe. You go unsubscribe. That's alright. I have fun myself. You can see here, the coaster is now upside down. And I've got some upside down crossovers, so you could just see there. Here we go, making sure that they're completely aligned. And then I'll bring the orc coaster to the left, hanging upside down. And the dwarven coaster to the right, hanging upside down. And then they both rotate back to their normal position and connect back to the station. Pretty happy with the end result. As you can see here, I had to bring the orc coaster really close to the ground and having it rotate back to the normal position. And that was quite tricky, and you'll see later on why. Because it's so close to the ground and to the other tracks. It really is like a bowl of spaghetti. But I'm super happy with the end result, so let's go check out the snap build. After all that puzzling, we ended up with a big spaghetti mess. But look how cool this is, they're upside down. Oh, they might have just clipped. I'll just slightly make an adjustment, but yeah, we finished the track of both coasters. And it looks like a proper spaghetti mess, but we still have lots and lots of pieces to polish this area. And I think we're just gonna build it into like a big natural thing. Lots of plants and all that sort of stuff. Obviously blended in with this theme. This is gonna be like a mountain area, I reckon. And this is gonna be like a fight grassy lands, like a wintry kind of thingy. Don't really know. But I think it will look really cool once the theming is done, so let's go and do some theming. The first thing I wanted to finish was really this top of the mountain section right here. I'm turning it into a little snowy area and put a little peak on the mountain. It will look so much better once it's covered in snow. It was then time to tagify my water features. So massive shout out to Teggy3D for coming up with all these unique ways of making the game look even better. A link to his channel is down below. But he came up with a really unique, awesome looking way how to make realistic waterfalls. That's what I'm doing here. I'm applying his technique and create a waterfall that looks a little bit more realistic than what I had before. Super stoked with the end result. So, without further ado, here is the snap build. That one wasn't good. I said before I was gonna turn it into a wintry peak. That didn't happen. It's happening now. Bit delayed, but here it is, after all. I really wanted to keep incorporating the wintry theme that Safor had in Dwarven Mine Rally in Planet Coaster 1. So, on the high parts of the blueprint, I incorporate snow. I then made another techie waterfall. This is just what I'm going to call them all. Call them from now on. Techie falls. Techie waterfall. I made more waterfalls and I had a really cool idea from this community member. Their name is Antichrist Incognito. What? What? Oh, holy crap. Anyway, they say, hey there, first of all, truly amazing build, thank you so much. For including a few dwarves though, the piece count is important. Maybe some are in barrels, like in The Hobbit. What? Say no more! I got you covered, homie. But before we can do that, I have to finish this water section, so here's the snap build. Very snap, much built. I really like this idea of having dwarves and orcs in barrels going down from this waterfall. I was super excited and I was already imagining what it would look like. But I don't know what's wrong with me today. I apologize. Oh, my inner crow came out. Oh my god, Book! Get yourself together! Oh, I put the dwarf in the barrel and then I chucked it in the water to see if the size was good. And then it was time to animate this monstrosity. And oh my, this was painful. Not only did I have to bring the dwarf down from the waterfall in two sections. There's a little drop from the start. And then there's a second drop at the bottom. So the first drop is not as fast as the second drop, as the second drop is a lot steeper. So I had to get two different types of movements, vertical movements installed on this thing. And it was getting really complicated, but I think I did good. I made it work, and this is the end result of the dwarf and the orc in the barrel. Here comes the coaster. You see the orc and the dwarf move down first and then free fall off the last section. Super stoked with the end result. Now the next section is all about building the terrain. And really, there's just nothing but placing down rocks. So I really don't want to waste your time. I already really appreciate you spending your time watching this video. So I've recorded the snap build for the full terrain workout. And I'll chuck it in here now. So enjoy! Now, if that wasn't satisfying, I don't know what else is. So, after all that building, lots of rock placing. Oh my god, look at the rocks. Look at this, it's so cool. We pretty much finished most of the terrain work on this section of the ride. We still have a lot of stuff to build here, but that might be for next episode. this is all the terrain work, and now we're gonna orcify and dwarvenify this section. I reckon we'll build some kind of orcish thingy here, and some kind of dwarfish thingy here. We've got obviously the orc main camp, the dwarven main camp, and then here will be like a little fighting ground with some little orc houses, or like orc settlements, and here a dwarven settlement or something like that. And then they just like fight it out in between here. And they got lots of like, we've got some cool ideas for some animations for dwarves versus orcs. But look how cool this is. The terrain work is really pretty cool. Very happy with how this turned out. Need do a couple more changes here, but that's all right. So yeah, let's go and make some orc bases and some dwarven stuff. So now with all the landscape done, I had a really cool idea in my mind. I really wanted this side to be an orc side, and the other side that you see in the background to be a dwarven side. On this side, the orcs are the boss, and on the other side, the dwarves are the boss. So, because we're on the orc side, I really felt like hurting a dwarf. Oh my god, crazy. So, I created an animation where an orc pushes a dwarf off into the water, which I thought would be pretty cool. After that, I spent a little bit of time of decorating the part a little bit, and that's kind of it. Here is the snap build. Obviously, this wasn't going to be enough theming, and I needed another animatronic. So, I came up with a cool idea of having an orc pretty much swing with the rope from this big crane, and it's just rotating, and it just looks really funny. Look at it. What the hell? After all that dumb stuff, I placed down some spikes to blend in with the theme that we've already made, where the coaster station is. I also placed down some other items and brought the whole thing together. Some banners, some weapon racks, a little house. Yeah, pretty cool. This is the snap build. We obviously can't forget about greenery and trees and plants and all that sort of stuff. So I spent a little bit of time decorating the place and then making the whole landscape come together. Currently it's just rocks. Obviously you need plants. Plants are very important. Here's the snap build. Now that we have an orc side, we obviously also need a dwarven side. They need to fight it out eventually. So I thought I'll build on this side of the valley, this side of the blueprint. I started building a little bit of a dwarven camp or something like that. Wasn't quite sure at this point what I was going to make. All I knew is that I wanted it to be a little bit dwarven. So I started building, and I first built a little bit of an arch, a little bit of a building where the coasters come through and then drop into the valley. Obviously I made sure that it is properly dwarvenified. It's funny, on this section I've got the coasters upside down as well as on top on the same point. I'm trying to squeeze these little rocks in between so that you don't see the bottom coaster from the top. After having done that, I decided it might just be a better idea if I just chuck a floor in. So I decided to floor the place, and then I could turn it into a little dwarven camp. I think that would look really cool. So you drop from the dwarven camp, you drop into the orc camp, and I think that would look really cool in the blueprint. It was quite funny because I started building this extension little dwarven balcony that I was working on, and then all of a sudden I had an insight. I had an, what do you call it, epiphany? A great idea. I decided it was time to build a ballista. And have the dwarves shoot the orcs with a ballista. That would be so cool. So let's get a crack on and build a ballista. Obviously the first thing that I needed was a little platform for the ballista to be placed on. And I thought this would be a really good location for the ballista. A ballista, for those who don't know, is pretty much a massive crossbow that shoots really, really big arrows, often made from metal or from steel. So after looking a couple of images of ballistas, I decided to make my own design. It was based on like the classic ballista look that you just saw there. But obviously it needed to be equipped with dwarven things. So it needed to look a little bit dwarven. And I was struggling trying to find the right pieces for this. I found these curved wooden pieces. And then I changed my mind again. And then I found some awesome looking pieces that if you color them brown, they really look like what you need for a ballista. After I've done that, I started building a rails that will help guide the arrow out of the ballista. And after that, it was time to build the mechanism that will launch the ballista. Obviously, I could not animate this. I probably could have, but I decided not to animate this. But I will have the arrow animated so the ballista can actually shoot. You'll see later on. I installed some ropes to make it look a little bit more realistic. And after that, obviously a mechanism to wind up the ballista to be able to shoot the arrow. I then built the actual arrow that I was going to place inside. It's pretty much made from a steel rod that I found, and then I just chuck an arrow in at the front. It worked out pretty well. The arrow was obviously animated, so here you see me working on the animation. I pretty much attached two horizontal moving platforms together and have them set on explosive fast movement. If you attach them together, you can make the arrow travel faster and with more distance. And that way you can pretty much have the arrow shoot straight ahead wherever you want to. I obviously wasn't done after that because it needed more motion. It needed to be able to rotate as well as tilt up and down so that it can actually aim accurately. I can do this by installing a little support system at the bottom first and then using the top of that support system as a pivot point, which I then use to attach moving parts to it and be able to control the movement of the ballista. Sounds really complicated, but I'll show you. So here you see a pole, and the idea was to have the ballista on top of it. I added some cogs on top of the pole because I wanted them to rotate just so that it's like mechanistically making a lot more sense that this ballista rotates. I then also attached the ballista to rotating pieces, and then if the rotating pieces are rotated 90 degrees, you can also make the ballista go tilt, or like tilt. So this way I could aim it to shoot up and down or left and right. Now here you see me play with the ballista settings. I make it shoot and then I pause the game, and this way I could find out where the arrow lands. Now if I just rotate the ballista, because the arrow is attached to the ballista, I can make it shoot at the target that I want, and the target that you can actually see from the coaster, for instance. First I thought I'll make it shoot at the house, but then I decided I'll rotate it a little bit more and then have it shoot at one of the poles that I placed down. So once I had it programmed properly, I made it shoot, then I simply paused the game and put an item there where the arrow lands. It was pretty simple after I figured that out. But a big problem I had was the animation pieces are not linear, and they keep shooting not at the same exact spot. It's always a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. The height is good, it's just always shooting a little bit to the left or to the right. So what I decided to do is lower the pole that's attached to the banner so that it's always shooting at something. It's a bit tricky to understand, but I hope that makes a little bit sense. I'll show you here what happens. The coaster comes up the chain lift and already the ballista starts rotating. Otherwise it's not in position at the same time for the coasters to see the shot. So the ballista shoots, as you can see. The arrow is gone and it's landed exactly on the banner. Now it doesn't matter if it moves a little bit to the left or the right, it will always hit the banner. I added in a couple more details on this dwarven section, including an extra dwarf. And I also built on a little bit of a lookout tower that I was going to place down just to the side of where you drop down looking at the ballista. The only thing was I started building this and then I figured I've already placed down 6,300 pieces and I was getting very limited on my piece count. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to put a dwarf in here, maybe later on. I'm focusing on finishing the build now first and then detailing it to the extreme later on when I finished. So for now, this is what the build looks like. Last but not least, let's finish up with some natural stuff. Some nature, some plants, some bushes, and then chuck it all together and it will make it look really nice. This is the snap build and the end of the build. Let's go check it out and jump on the coasters and have a POV of the on-ride. Alright, there we have it. Whoa, it's looking incredible, I have to say. Look at this. The layers. Oh my god, dwarf in the water. I alert, dwarf in the water. Oh, he's back. Okay. But, oh yeah, so we've got so many layers in this section here. I'm so happy with how this turned out. The idea was to have a little dwarven section, or a little orc section, and a little dwarven section. And I think it worked out really well. The orc section is a lot more cluttered than the dwarven section. And I feel like I'm gonna install a couple more things I reckon. But I'm running really low on pieces and I still have to theme this whole back section. Which will be the last episode tomorrow, not tomorrow, what am I saying? If only. So currently we are having, let's see. Don't need any of these pieces. 6,339, which means I still have 1,700 pieces left to play with, which is decent amount of pieces. But I mean, this looks still quite barren. I mean, we got the dwarven section, but this is barren. This is barren. This is completely empty. There's lots and lots of rocks and details. This is now fully finished. We still need to add some stuff here. The stations still need to be tuned. I mean, it's like an empty box in here. So still lots and lots and lots to do. The front's pretty much finished. This looks pretty good. I really want to have a little bit more height. Maybe behind here somewhere. But I'm running really low on space. This blueprint is so cramped, and if you look from the top, let me just do this. If you look at it from the top, there is so much track. There's an incredible amount of track, all cramped in a very small area. So it's very much running out of space as well as running out of pieces. So I have to be efficient. And although I would love to add a couple more details on this side here, I'm gonna finish this section first because I'd rather have a fully completed blueprint and then spend a little bit of time on animating and theming everything and putting in the finer details, but making sure that the whole build's finished. And this looks pretty finished to me, although it's not up to my standards. I'd love to have a couple more details here, but like I said, first finish this and then we'll see how we go. So yeah, I reckon we're gonna jump on this death machine. Oh, it's so cool. Jump on the death machine. Here's one ready for us. Let's jump on this thing. And yeah, let's go. This is the dwarven side. So the idea is to have... Oh, that dwarf is cursed! Did you see it? He folded in half. Oh well, sometimes that happens. Sometimes these animation pieces are a bit cursed. Can't do anything about it. So yeah, going up. We gotta speed up this section. Train lifts are never fun to watch. And then we rotate upside down, and then we go down into the Dwarven Mine. I'm really trying to stay true to Safe Force creation, who uses a lot of rocks and natural things, and then mining dwarves and orcs. And although I wish I could install some gems, we don't have the gems at the moment. But I feel like I'll change some of these caves into like gem mines, which is really easy to team and very piece efficient. Like here, for instance, or like a cold storage room. Look how cool this is. Alright, now look at the dwarf and the orc on the left. They go down the waterfall. Whee! Oh, it's so cool. I'll speed this up. And here we go, drop down into the Dwarven area. We look at the fortress. Look at the flames coming out of that thing. Really cool. Dwarves everywhere. And then we go up, and now keep an eye out on the ballista, the arrow shooter, or whatever you call it. I think it's called a ballista. Luke is gonna shoot. Pew! You see that? Yeah, I still need to add some teaming here as well, but again, I'm running out of pieces. Oh, the interaction between these coasters is so cool. Now we're hanging upside down. And here we're slowly rotating back to the normal position. And then making our way into the station. So yeah, that's the Dwarven coaster. And they pretty much arrive at the exact same time in the station, which is really good. Alright, let's jump on this death machine. And fast forward until we go. Blah, 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 blah. Hurry up, hurry up. There we go. Put my cursor away. Oh my god, Book! Your cursor! What the hell are you doing? Sorry. I really like this section. Where the minecart goes underground. Oh, here you got the minecart coming down as well, which is pretty cool. I quite like that. Whee! Alright, fast forward. Back into the action. Now we have the top side of the loop. Now we're close to the icy mountains, which is also new. Yeah, obviously we need to finish the back of that house. Yeah, we're all surrounded by rocks and natural stuff. Obviously this needs some teaming as well. Still, like I said, still lots and lots of stuff to do. Now here we're going sideways. I really like this section. You go over and then under and then you rotate. Oh yeah, I'm so happy with the teaming. There goes the barrels. Whee! Even at the end they're going down the little waterfall as well, which is pretty cool. I'll fast forward this. Now we're gonna chase these guys. So instead of being in the front, we're now in the back. We're now the chasers. Oh, I almost gave a little kiss there. Super cool. Oh, I'm so happy with this. I've said that so many times, but that's fine. There you go. Now you can also see the ballista shoot. Pew. See, now we're in front, and we were in the back behind before. Now go in the little cave. Gonna add lots of gems and stuff here, I think. And then we've got the dwarf falling in the water. And whoa, that was a cool view. And we're back in the station, which also needs a little bit more teaming, I reckon. I mean, look at this underground section. Oh my god. Book, you still have so much to do. Oh well, it will be fine, I think. These I can always delete some of these dwarven pieces. Like the orcs are fine, but the dwarves are very piece heavy, and there's lots of pieces right up their ass cheeks. All these little pieces, they can just be removed. We don't need that. So I can probably save another 100 pieces, which is pretty much theming of the queue. So yeah, let's have a look at this ballista shooting. It's gonna get triggered the moment these are on the chain lift. There we go. It's gonna go, and then it's gonna shoot, and then it's gonna hit it right here. But these animation pieces that I used, I'll just let it rotate, go back. The animation pieces that I used, they're all under here. And you can also, I'll show you the barrel as well. This is the barrel animation. What a monstrosity that is. And the ballista is really easy. It was quite tricky to get all the pieces selected and make sure it's all triggered and timed perfectly. But this, for some reason, it never shoots at the same spot. It always shoots horizontally across this beam. I used to have it shoot just at this one pole, but now I have it shoot across this beam because it always is slightly to the left, slightly to the right. It never shoots at the same spot. So I've put the banner here so it always shoots at the target and it's not floating in the air. Otherwise it will look weird. Also, we probably have to chuck a dwarf in here, but that'll be fun. Let's have a look at these guys arriving. Look at the interactions. And this crazy orc. Oh, I love that orc. And then they come down. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me today. Please let me know if you like the build so far. Please consider subscribing. It would help out a lot. And yeah, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me if there's something you don't like, or if you have any ideas, things that I can adjust and change. And then other than that, I'll leave you guys to it. Thank you so much for spending your time watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, bye bye. Cheers.